Now let's look at the painting The Storm on the Sea of Galilee. The mast represents the cross and divides the painting in two, a light, hopeful side and a dark, sinister side, both figurative and literal. To reinforce the symbol of the cross, Rembrandt painted a flag bearing a cross at the top of the mast. The rigging, the ropes of the ship, serve as leading lines drawing attention to key characters on the ship that all lead to the symbol of faith and salvation, the cross. Now, art is open to interpretation, but at the same time, there are definite messages that the artist is attempting to convey. At the bow or front of the ship are four figures. I believe them to be Peter, Andrew, James, and John, the only ones actually attempting to keep the boat afloat, which makes sense when you figure that they were fishermen and likely had the most skill and knowledge when it came to boats. I believe this specifically is Peter, the chief apostle, sitting exactly where the figurehead of a ship would be. It appears that he has the keys of the priesthood attached to his waist, and his feet are upon what looks more like stone than actual wood of a ship, possibly a nod to the time when Christ told Peter, "Upon this rock will I build my church," the rock being revelation from God that Jesus was the Messiah. This could quite possibly be John the Beloved, who stayed at the foot of the cross with Jesus during his crucifixion, and is depicted here closest to the mast. This prominent figure holding fast to the rigging could possibly be Nathanael, who is often represented with the symbol of his martyrdom, a knife. And what's this? A stowaway? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rembrandt placed himself aboard, holding onto the rope and looking directly at you, the viewer. Rembrandt actually had quite the stormy and tumultuous life, and so this is almost foreshadowing of his own experiences, given that he painted this in his 20s. Now there's also a stowaway below deck that looks quite terrified, but it's hard to tell what's actually going on there. It sure would be nice if we had the original painting to get better detail. Now I'm thinking that this is Thomas. His hand is at his forehead, almost in disbelief or doubt at what is unfolding, and he also appears to be on the verge of a technicolor yawn. Then you have three apostles in various poses of prayer, waking and calling upon Jesus to save them. And I honestly don't have any insight on this figure, so let me know if you do. Now, as I said before, this painting is divided both literally and figuratively in light and dark, and it's about to get very dark. This part of the ship is called the helm. It's where the ship is controlled and steered. Up until this point, all of the figures on the ship are at the right hand of Jesus. It represents honor, righteousness, power, authority, but being at the left hand of Jesus or God represents rejection, judgment, and separation. In fact, the word sinister comes from the Latin word for left. Those found on the left are of a sinister nature. So at the bow, you have the chief apostle Peter, and at the stern, the left hand of Jesus, you have Judas Iscariot, the betrayer, whose hand is upon the rudder as if to control the course. And just as the symbol of Peter's keys, John at the cross, and Nathanael's dagger, Rembrandt includes a dark subtlety for the traitor apostle. I don't think it's any mistake that the darkest left-hand side of the ship and the rope from the cross extends perfectly and symbolically behind Judas, his head even tilted, neck elongated unnaturally, as if suggesting his fate at his own hands. Even his gaze averts the Savior, as if he refuses to look at him. What a deep painting. We all know what it's like to have moments in life that bring us to our utter limits, where we can't handle it anymore. We can't handle anything, and we want it to end. This painting powerfully suggests to hold on to our faith and turn to the Savior. It's not telling us to sleep through our problems in life. It's showing us that we can have the same peace and calm that Jesus had, the peace that defies all understanding. I've had it once before, and it was so powerful that nothing could disturb me, even in the face of total disaster and demise. I love this painting, and that it reminds me to turn to Jesus and find peace in the storm.